Hello everyone and welcome back to another Fam 2 Cents cooking video. This one's going to be a bit of a quickie here. We're making crab rangoon, but this is a bit of an experimental video. I didn't plan for this to be released at all, but I figured you guys seeing me practice to make certain things before the actual video comes out might be interesting. So here it is. We're cutting up a green onion here, or some green onions here, and putting them off to the side. And then we have imitation crab meat that we're going to be using with this, not real crab meat, because not only is it sometimes hard to find, but it can be kind of pricey. So chives are cut up and we're cutting up the meat right now. We're dicing these into as small pieces as we can because the wonton wraps or whatever that we're using are relatively small, so we want to make sure that there's a sufficient amount of crab meat in there. So we're cutting it really fine to, you know, make sure that it's uniform. Also, there's a lot of other places you get crab rangoon from or whatever where there doesn't seem to be a lot of crab involved. I wanted to make sure that that was not the case here, so we put quite a bit of crab in ours, but you might end up doing something different. Sorry guys, I don't have any very specific measurements of exactly how much we used here. As I said, this was experimental and I was just kind of messing around. When the actual real video comes out and you guys get to see me make it seriously, then, you know, we'll have all that stuff available. But for now, you know, just enjoy the video for what it is. So in the bowl here we have our softened cream cheese, and what we're going to end up adding to this is we're going to add soy sauce, just a little bit, not a crazy amount, and add in the crab meat and the green onions. And normally people would stop there. Now I say soften, but as you can see I'm having a little bit of a time kind of mixing that up. But as I was saying, some people kind of stop there, but what I decided is there are certain places that I go to, takeout places, or that I order from, where you get crab rangoon that is a little sweet, and there are sometimes you get it where it's more savory. I prefer the sweeter version, so I added a bit of sugar to mine. That would be, you know, an executive decision on your part in your kitchen, based on however you want to do that. Also, I don't think that cream cheese is all that sweet on its own. So maybe some people think it's sufficient, but I don't think so. So that's why I added some sugar to mine. And we're gonna mix this up really good and get it nice and mixed, so that way we have our nice little mixture to fill our wonton wraps. So now we get to the fun part, which is the wrapping, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I tried every method you could possibly try. All of the restaurant style, and I watched 6 or 7, 8 different videos teach you how to wrap it the way that they typically look, and I can't do it. I'm not good with these delicate procedures, which is why I don't usually bake or do anything or deal with any ingredients that are very delicate and you have to be careful with, because I'm just not the best when it comes to that. So I tried on several occasions to wrap these in the recommended way, and it did not work out. So what we ended up settling on is more of a triangular shape, and that ended up working out just fine. Eventually after trying a bunch of times, Squishy showed up because she was excited about the crab rangoon, and she decided to give it a shot, and she kind of just took over from there. But yeah, I was having a horrible time trying to figure this thing out. So yeah, as you'll see in this clip, I eventually give up on the other complicated ways and just do the triangular shape. And I got a fork and started like pressing down on the ends just to make sure that it was completely closed. And like I said, this worked out just fine. From all the experimenting and stuff that I did, I found out that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how you wrap them. It really matters what's on the inside. Obviously, you can. It'd be nice to get them to look the way you want them to, but that's not as important as the filling that goes in it. So honestly, just do this however you can, and try your best to make it uniform and all that good stuff, and just fry them up, honestly. Be careful with stretching it though, the wonton wraps or whatever, because you put them in there and they'll burst on the side sometimes, and this is seemingly random. Like it just kind of happens out of nowhere. It was shocking the first time it happened, because nothing seemed to change. I wrapped them all the same way at one point, but every now and then one would just burst on the side. And I'm not talking about like towards the edges where the folds are, just like in the middle, it would just burst open. Not sure why that happened or how that happened, but it can happen, so be careful. So in this clip, you'll see that Squishy has taken over, and what's really funny about watching Squishy cook something, especially when she's doing something repetitive, is the longer, like the more time that passes, the more, or the less, I guess, careful she gets. Because she starts off being very delicate and making sure that everything is, you know, in place, and she folds them to the best of her ability. But as the video goes on, Squishy gets bored very easily doing tasks like this, so she just she just started pumping them out, man. And at that point they got really messy, but they were done. I mean, she got them done. So that's something that's really hilarious about my wife. If you guys didn't know that, she tasks like this, after about a couple minutes she gets bored and then just does whatever at that point. So they got done very quickly, but some of them were kind of wonky. But, you know, like I said, at the end of the day, as long as they stay together and the filling on the inside is good, that's pretty much the only thing that matters, you know. Now there are going to be some snobs out there who tell you otherwise, who tell you that you're not having the same experience unless you do it this way, or maybe you're not doing it right, or anything like that. And you know, if that's how they feel, then let them feel that way. But they're not in your kitchen, and you ain't cooking it for them, so they just gonna have to be mad. No, but all jokes aside, though, I do think Squishy did a really good job. Like I said, these turned out really good, and we've had a couple more tests, testing out this recipe afterwards, where we tried all different types of shapes and sizes, and Squishy kind of chipped in, and we were just kind of experimenting and playing around in the kitchen, which was really fun. If you have somebody in your house who you can do that with, where you guys can kind of play with your food and just test stuff out, it's a good time. It's a really good time to spend time with your significant other, or maybe your kids or something. So give it a try one day. And if you're in the kitchen cooking, and that's what you usually do if you do it alone, invite somebody in to help out and see how that works out for you. But here are some examples of different things that we came up with, and the different shapes that came out of our experimentation. And it got a little crazy, a little wild there for a second, but it was fun. And we ended up settling on the picture that I showed you guys on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and stuff. The ketchup packet is what we ended up settling on at some point, but maybe that'll be a different video, because I think that's the design that we really like. So as I said, Squishy took over, we got those done, and once they were all folded up, we got ready to fry them. So the frying process is pretty straightforward. You want to keep your heat to like medium low. You don't really want it too high, but you also don't want it too low either. I don't have a thermometer, which I really need to get, because I'm sure there is a set temperature that you need to keep this at, but relatively low, like medium low was a good setting. I seen. Also, if you have if you have an electric stove and not a gas stove or whatever, after a while you might want to turn it down just a little bit, and then turn it back up, because it seems to exceed that point after you have it on for a little bit. So like I said, I have no business not having a thermometer in my house. I should probably have one, a cooking thermometer, but I don't for some reason, and I really need to get one, because it'll make things like this much easier, so I can regulate temperatures. But this is a test kitchen video, and this was for experiment, so I guess you guys could forgive me on this one. But yeah, they cooked pretty good. One of the small issues we had is they were cooking on the outside much quicker than they were cooking on the inside, and that may just be due to temperature, as I said before. You know, that could be an issue. I could actually take some time to go look at more recipes to see what exactly everybody's the temperature that everybody's using, and seeing what's the most commonplace, what I should be looking into doing for future references, which I'll probably do for the final video. Hopefully I have a thermometer and all that good stuff by then. They're not that expensive. I need to just go ahead and get one. But the bottom line is, the end result is they came out pretty good. And that's the best I could hope for at this point. Experimenting with something new like this, something that's as delicate as this, I'm surprised they turned out even okay. So I was pretty happy with the final product, but obviously I could do better, which is why this is just a test video. So be on the lookout for a full video coming out soon. I'll try to get that out to you guys as soon as possible, because making these is not only, you know, a much better than takeout, it's actually pretty fun to do. So if you have a recipe, definitely share it with me. If you have any tips that you would like to share with me about the real full version of the video that'll be coming out, anything you think I should do or implement to make this a little easier for myself, or just something that you like to do, share it down in the comment section below, and I will definitely take all comments into consideration when putting out the full video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hit that like button if you haven't already, and definitely subscribe to the channel. That is a good way to get me noticed out there. Also, check out the merch store if you have it. Buying merch is one of the best ways you can support the channel, because not only does it help me, but it also gets you a very, you know, a personal physical item that you can actually have, as opposed to just, you know, maybe a donation or something like that. So have a wonderful day, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys on the next one.